Girl, just do it. Stop that crazy drama. Did somebody give me a lobotomy? You do not have to drink your milk. What the heck? Do you know how big of a jolt that is? This is a little bit sick and twisted. Calm the F down. Unlock the secrets of astrology. Hi, everyone out there from around the world. It's Meredith, your evolutionary astrologer, and today we are going to learn the magic of progressions and the magic of progressions when the sun changes signs or houses. Now, this video has so much potent information in it, and if you have never worked with progressions, or if you've only worked with your own sun sign, this video is so important for you. Now, I hope that you all watched my very first video on progressions, how to use them and what they mean. And if not, you absolutely 100% have to go watch that video. And I would like for you to do it even before you watch this video, but you can start here and go back over there. When you understand progressions and when you understand your sun's progression through the signs and even through the houses, it brings you one of the most potent and powerful tools to unlock the secrets of astrology. And it shows you your whole life in its total meaning. If you are older and watching this video, your past is going to make a whole lot of sense to you. And if you're younger and you're looking at using progressions to see your future, it's also really invigorating, very empowering, and super inspiring. I cannot begin to tell you how many predictions have come true using progressions. When I use progressions, I can see the evolution of your soul. I can see the meaning of your journey. I can make meaning out of your past. I can see how your troubles and your woes will find peacefulness in later times. And so there is just a gargantuan treasure box that you get to open and explore when you understand progressions. And welcome to my progressions series. And now we're going to go into the sun signs. So when your sun progresses into the next sign or into the next house, and also when your ascendant progresses. The entire series is going to be riveting, and I have tons of behind the scenes videos for my members. So I hope you're a member and you got to see what the progressed moon sign is all about and all my secrets over there. They were yummy. We're going to do a lot more work on progressions. So I'm so excited. So if you're confused about progressions or you don't understand how they work or how they move, you're going to get all that information in my very first video. That's why you absolutely have got to have that video under your belt, because I teach you how to find your progressions. Now, the other thing you can do is this. Yes, I want you to have your ephemeris that I talked about. Let me show it to you. Here's this ephemeris. You can buy this in my Amazon shop. This ephemeris, you can see how beat up it is. That's because I use it all the time. This is if you're born before year 2000. And then this ephemeris. And I'll have links to these. Here's a little coffee stain. Yeah, I use this book. And it's weathered. This goes to 2050. So you might even need one that goes to 2100, depending on when you're born. And I have a lot of young people. So these are the ephemerises that I have in my shop. And you can find that link in the description below. Now, what we're going to do today, I'm going to talk to you about when your sun sign progresses to the next sign or to the next house. And it's really massively important. These are some of the most important years of your life. In my first video, I teach you how to use the ephemeris. I teach you how to read the ephemeris. And so I want you to take a look at what year was it when you had your sun sign progress into the next sign. Now, if you were born on the 28th degree, well, we know that in about a year, depending how many minutes into the 28th degree you were, but let's just say for mathematical sake that you were born exactly on the 28th degree. So your sun sign is 28 degrees Virgo. Well, we know that when you turn 1 year old, that you will be a 29 degree Virgo. That's a whole nother video. I hope you guys watched my video on the degrees, the 0, the 15, and the 29th degree. That is so important, because you know that that year is going to have a year of crisis for you because it's the 29th degree. And then we know when you're 2 years old, you're going to switch to the next sign of Libra, then we know that it takes 30 years to change to the next sign. So now we know when you're 32 years old, it's going to change to Scorpio. And when you're 62, it's going to change to Sagittarius, right? It's really important that you know the years of your life when your sun sign changed by progression. Now, listen, if you're older, it's interesting to go back and look at your past. If you're younger, it's interesting to go and look at your future. So when I turned into a progressed Aquarian, that's when YouTube found me. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? I didn't really do YouTube when I was in my progressed Capricorn years. It didn't appeal to me. And YouTube is very, very Aquarian. So let's talk about it. We're going to go through all the signs. I hope I can get through them all. When your progressed sun sign, I also want to say your ascendant, when your progressed sun moves from the 12th house, crosses the ascendant and goes into the first house. So when your progressed sun or your ascendant turns to Aries, this is a cataclysmic jump because this means that it just spent time in Pisces, either by progression or you are born a Pisces and it has progressed into Aries, and your first transition or your first progressed sun sign moving into Aries is no small thing. Now, there are some progressions, I think, that have more papa, if you will, than other changes. So this changing of the guard has incredible power in it because you're moving from the last sign of the zodiac into the first sign, from the last house of the zodiac, the 12th house, into the first house, or your ascendant, the face of you, is moving from that Pisces 12th house feel right into this big and bold Aries. Now, there's also another little secret pro tip that I want to give you, okay? This is a little bit sick and twisted, and forgive my Mercury. If you guys know it, you know me. I have a sick and twisted side, but I kind of like to go look at like, where am I going to be around my, 80th, 90th, or 100th year? I want to see the sign I'm going to be in when I die. I know it sounds crazy, but I want to know if I'm going out with a bang, right? Or if I'm like falling asleep forever. Am I going out like with my fuzzy socks on and, in my bathrobe with warm tea next to me, and I'm just going to like fall asleep in tranquility? Or am I in like a big fat giant boom sign? I know it's sick and twisted. And if you want to learn a little bit about death, or I shouldn't say a little bit, but if you want to like go really deep with me for like 5 full hours, I am teaching death transits and how to see death in the chart in Barcelona in October. So tickets are on sale June 1st, 2024. We'll be there in October, and you can check everything out at soulnavigation.com. I only have seats for 35 people, so it's really deep, intimate work. But I do like to kind of see, and personally for me, I like the idea of going out on a sleepy sign, not going out on a big boom sign. So let's go back to when your sun sign is progressing into Aries. This is a personal power time. Now, let me tell you something. You oftentimes don't feel the big transition like on the day it happens. I mean, for me, it took me 2 to 5 years to really feel that next progressed sun sign, and it's slow moving. So this is a real personal power. You're going to see that you don't have to do anything with your progressed sun sign. You don't have to do a damn thing. It's going to be how life experiences you, how life and the world and the people in your world ask you to show up. And it's also going to be how you start to experience yourself. Like I told you, I never considered doing YouTube, and I never considered shifting my in-house, very intimate private practice one-on-one to a large scale audience, reaching, people around the globe and talking to all walks of life and humanity, taking it to not just improving the person's life, but maybe improving humanity, maybe shifting on a larger scale. I never thought of anything like that. I was deep in the Capricorn. So I'm just telling you, these themes, these ways, these energies will find you, will be expressed through you. And then that new energy, so Aries energy or first house energy, is going to ask you for the next 30 years when you're in your progressed Aries to take risks, be courageous, and to become the first at something, to really go first, to be strong, to make muscle, to make, mental, physical, emotional muscle, to get friggin' strong. You're going to need to be strong. So I don't wish this for anybody, because why do you need to be strong? Well, you're going to need to be strong to be able to manage and handle your life. And so what I want to say is this is a get risky, get gutsy, get big and loud. It's going to feel dramatic because Pisces is so sensitive. So watch right now in the progressed Aries rising or progressed Aries sun, you're going to see that there's a newfound strength. I'm also going to tell you something else. There's going to be an independence. And when there's an independence, sometimes there's a loss. Sometimes we lose the people that we're dependent on. And when you were in your Pisces era, if you will, there was probably more connection and there was probably more interdependence or dependence. And now when you're in your progressed Aries, you might feel like you're running the show, or you have to run the whole show, or you might feel like you're very, very independent, figuring it all out. Excuse me for my voice. I just got done teaching my Seattle workshop and it was so transformative for myself and for others. It was so cool to see the transformation of people, and the love bucket just floweth over. I mean, it was like love on steroids, and it's not the kind of like hot love. It's the kind of like deep love, deep eternal love, divine love. Like if you can find divine love, you will find it in my workshops. I could cry. It was so poignant. It was so moving. It was so touching. It was so deep, raw, and real. But I talked every single day from 9 a.m. till about 12 midnight, because it's not just a workshop. It's definitely not a conference, and it's not just a retreat. But we workshopped in the day and then we retreated at night, although there really was no retreat. We just danced our hearts away, and it was so fun, metaphorically and also physically. Like danced on cloud nine and then danced on the dance floor. And it was so much fun. And that's also my progressed Aquarius sun. I would have never created something like this in my Capricorn progressed sun years. Never. Not that I didn't want to. I was just too hardworking. One-on-one, changing the lives of people, doing between 12 and 30 readings a day. I'm not joking. And now I'm doing more connecting with you. You can see it. So I'm sharing these things with you just to show you so you can see and you can feel. And so what I want to know is, how has your progressed sun changed, and how have you seen the changes show up in your life? Now, another thing I want to say, this video is not about the moon sign. Okay, so I did a private video for my members only, and I really, really recommend you watch my members only videos and become a member for $2.99. But it allows me to do this work and teach you and create more members only videos, which I am going to be creating so many juicy fruit, deep, intimate, raw, and real, very authentic, profound videos for my members, because there's more of you now. And it's just a way that I can say thank you. With Aries, you're moving out of sort of that feeling of dormant feeling, the sleepy, creative feeling of Pisces, being overly sensitive, and you're moving into your boldness. And I promise you, the world is going to deliver you opportunities that are going to feel super risky. Like, oh my God, I got the opportunity to be on, I don't know, Time magazine. Do I dare say yes? I want to, but I don't, but I do, but I don't. And it's like, yes, you have to take your opportunities when they find you in that progressed Aries rising or progressed Aries sun. So you have to tell me what is happening. What is happening, my progressed Aries? Progressed Tauruses. Okay, forgive me for this little joke, but this is never going to be an option for me. It's never going to happen. But I think I would like to have my end of life be in a progressed Taurus. I would. I think there's a sensuality here. So you're going to open up to nature. You're going to start to see the trees. You're going to start to feel the wind on your face. So I want to tell you this little Taurus thing that happened, and I want to see if you Tauruses can understand this, and my progressed Tauruses and ascendant Tauruses. So when Connie Jo from my channel, she lives in Florida, I live in Seattle, came here to the workshop, we spent a day taking the ferry boat. We took the ferry over to Bainbridge Island. And on that ferry boat, she was like, wow, the air just feels so good here. And it did. And I'm like, you can feel the dewiness here. You can actually feel it. And then we walked through the lazy town of Bainbridge. It's like a little village. Stores are in old houses, right? And you want to know what the neatest thing is I said they call Washingtonians, Washington State, where I live, tree huggers. And I said, I'm kind of proud of it. Look at this house. And I started to just open up her eyes, right? Because Florida's as far away as you can be from Washington as possible on the continent. And it didn't happen once. It happened 2 and 3 times where we saw a house that was built around a tree. I'm not kidding. The tree was so big, and it was a shade tree and a glorious tree. A maple tree was one, and the other one had blossoms all over it. And I said, just look at the love. Look at the love in this statement. This house is built after the tree was here, and they didn't chop this tree down. And this tree is like one of those magic banyan trees in Hawaii. Oh my gosh, like that big banyan tree in Waikiki, Hawaii. Have you guys ever sat there at the end of the road, and it's the magical banyan tree? I know it's very famous because I've sat under it numerous times, and I love it. And Connie Jo was like, wow, I would have just walked by it. I didn't notice that they built the sidewalk to go into the entrance around the tree. They built the patio around the tree. Anyways, this happened a couple times. And in Washington state, because it's the Emerald State, it's so green. Christmas trees with lakes and oceans and snow-capped mountains. I mean, it is breathtaking. It is a sort of Taurus's paradise. Your vision is I just got chills. With this placement, with the progressed ascendant or the progressed sun moving into Taurus, it's really going to change your relationship to nature and to the outdoors and to the air on your face. Maybe you pick up an outdoor hobby in some way. You learn kayaking or paddleboarding or snow skiing or water skiing in some way. Maybe you buy a boat. But it's also when your self-esteem can be attached to money. This is a luxurious placement, and creature comforts are going to increase right now. And so you're going to want to invest in things that make you feel comfortable. I'm also going to tell you your whole entire value system is going to have a shift over the next 30 years. Now remember that you don't always feel this change on the day it happened. I want you to pay attention to something really, really important. And that is that you're coming from Aries. So whether this is your second or third progression or your first progression, this is where you're being told to calm the F down now. Calm down. Lay in the hammock, sit in a comfortable chair, swap out an uncomfortable chair and make sure every chair in your house is comfortable. And I know it sounds funny, but it's sort of like get off your feet a little bit. If you're a hairdresser, let's just say, my God, that is like a physically grueling job. Now you progress into Taurus, you might still want to do beauty and fashion and even work with women. That's everything Venus. But you might not want to do it standing on your feet. Let me tell you something so important. Oh my gosh. And I hope you're still listening, even if you don't have this placement. You're changing your rulership. The rulership of your whole chart, your sun or your rising is shifting. And so you shifted from a Mars Aries sun, a Mars-ruled sign, to a Venus-ruled sun sign. Do you know how big of a jolt that is? So this jolt into Taurus is gargantuan, but it goes the other way. It's not Pisces into Aries. It's Aries, boom, into tranquil Taurus. It's like now you're going to start listening to Enya. Now you're listening to Vivaldi's Four Seasons. Now you're actually sitting your arse down and reading books or listening to them. But now you're making time to be comfortable. It's almost like a feeling of pleasure. So it's the pleasure years. And that's why I was like, I know it's kind of sick and twisted, but if I did have to pass away in a sign, I really would pick Taurus because I know that I'd get a little extra morphine in the drip if I needed it. God, hope I don't. And I think I'd have somebody in my life that would really help me fluff the pillow perfectly. And I would get to have my fluffy socks and my hot tea, right? So this is comfort. I also want to tell you, this is money. This is a lot of cash. It's a work hard though. You're probably going to want to build something. You're going to either want to build a home, build a business, build productivity, build something of lasting value. Also, I'm going to tell you that you have a chance to save money or make money or earn money. There's another piece to this one, and that is out of the blue. I don't know why, but all of a sudden you're interested in cooking and you never were before. It's like, what was that recipe of my grandma's cookies? I never even asked her. Wonder if I could figure it out. Right? Or you're at a restaurant and you're like, I'm going to get the ingredients to this, I don't know, clam chowder, and I'm going to duplicate it. I taste sherry in this clam chowder, with a touch of sage. Or before you just ate the damn thing. You didn't even notice. You didn't even notice the difference in smells. You were like, I don't know, smells good, tastes good. And now you're like, I'm going to go home and duplicate this. Yeah. It's really a time when you get steady and you slow down. Okay, my sweet friends. Now, if you have a Gemini, progressed Gemini ascendant, or your sun moves into the third house, or your sun progresses from Taurus into Gemini, I'm going to tell you, these are your funny years. This is when you like found a sense of humor and found the confidence to tell some jokes and be witty and funny and smart. And your life is going to get dramatically busy. Like it's going to be literally on steroids. And it could be that you got another job, you got additional kids, you decided to foster cats or dogs, or you started to like rescue animals, or you moved out to a farm and every farm animal lives and needs tending to. Or you're studying new things and you're traveling, but you are friggin' busy. You also will feel like you're living many lifetimes within this one lifetime. These are important years because these are the years when you get really, really friggin' smart. This is where you amplify your learning. I want to tell you a little secret. When I was in college, I didn't know how to learn yet. I really didn't learn how to learn in high school. And I made sure with my own daughter that I got her the help, the tutoring, the assistance. I slowed down and helped her with assignments. I got Nana, smart Nana on board. Her Nana has a PhD in education, but she is a doctor of education and she's super smart. And she got her master's in English. So I just made sure that my daughter knew how to learn early. I assisted her in those skills and developing those skills in second grade, maybe even first. I did not get those skills until I figured it out. Are you ready for this? My senior year in college. And what I'm talking about is learning how to learning how to organize thoughts, learning how to tackle 6 different homework assignments, learning how to prioritize, learning how to read English literature, looking for metaphor, simile, and just color, learning how to find the metaphor inside every single word in a novel. He was wearing a blue shirt, and my teacher would teach me, why was he wearing a blue shirt? What does a blue shirt mean? And why is his name Mr. Goodman, right? Why is his name Mr. Goodman? There's a message in that. I did not learn how to learn until about my 4th year in college. It's kind of sad. Breaks my heart because I'm a really good student now, but I was latent. It was really latent. When you have your sun progressed into the 3rd house, you learn how to learn. Not only that, you learn how to learn new things. You learn how to learn in a new way, not just an old way. You could learn new things and you could learn how to learn in a new way. So now maybe you've learned a new technique or new style, a new language. You might have new interests. Your curiosity will increase. Your mind is going to get frenetically busy. And remember, you're coming from Taurus, calm, able to move more slowly and thoroughly. Now, for whatever reason, either more people need you, life gets more interesting, it's bubbling over, you're doing a side hustle and another side hustle and another side hustle. It's hard to complete things. You might be required to talk more. This might be a time when you write a book, sing a song, find your voice, find your mind, share your thoughts. This is a very interesting time. I'm going to tell you another secret. So I got lots of secrets sprinkled throughout this whole entire video. So don't just watch your own sign because you'll learn from every sign. And then go watch the playlist on my channel because I go really deep into the signs. Watch the playlist that correlates with the sign of your progressed sun sign or with the sign of your progressed ascendant. I was going to tell you a secret thing. You could really have for the next 30 years some big important lessons that come up around siblings. You could discover a sibling you didn't know about. You could have a new relationship with a sibling. You could mend fences with your siblings. You could lose a sibling. But something about your siblings could really shape these next 30 years. And it's a time when siblings come to the forefront in your life. On July 21st, I have such a gift for you. We are going to have a soul navigation progressions party. Yes, it's going to be called my Playful Progressions members only party. So for my members, I want you guys to get ready. You do have to buy a ticket because it's going to be on Zoom. And the reason why it's going to be on Zoom is because I want to talk to you back and forth. I want to be able to talk to all of you and see your faces. And if I do it on YouTube, I can't see your faces and I can't have a conversation with you. I have limited availability. And if you don't get a ticket, I can't give you the Zoom password. So if you do get a ticket, please make sure you come. It's going to be at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I think that works for Europe. And I think that works maybe for Asia and Australia. I'm praying that it does, but it's my Playful Progressions members only. It is for members only. So if you're not a member, go join for $2.99 so you can come to my July 21st Playful Progressions party. The reason why I say playful is because it's not going to be a masterclass. It's not going to be a sit down, very serious masterclass. It's going to be questions and answers. I'm going to talk about how you actually look at your progressions, what they mean. And I'm going to take, as I said, questions and deliver some hopefully very insightful answers. And then we're going to look at some members' charts. So it's super exciting, but it's going to be playful. So come in your PJs, bring your coffee, bring your martini. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Okay, let's talk about when the sun progresses into the 4th house or in Cancer, or when you get a progressed Cancer rising. It's a really big deal. You're going to feel like that Gemini buzz, like being a bumblebee and then moving into maybe the energy of, I don't know, like a big lazy dog, right? Just the big lazy dog sleeping in front of the fireplace, like a Saint Bernard. You want me to get up and pour the coffee? Right? And I see Gemini as kind of like cats, hummingbirds, bumblebees, anything super busy. And there's a quietness. And it could be a cat in the 4th house, but kind of lazy and quiet. When I say lazy, I mean there's a lot of intention in the 4th house. They don't do things that are frivolous. And so Geminis do it all. They do the light, they do the shallow, the superficial, and the deep. The 4th house or Cancer really wants the connection. It almost brings tears to my eyes a little bit because this is the house of a mother. So a mother could be made out of you, even if you are a dad, even if you are a father. A lot of 4th house sons love like a mother, even if you're a father. Like you might nurse your baby with a bottle like a mama would. You might be the kind of dad that changes diapers and does the dirty work. A lot of dads are doing that, but there's a real desire now to slow down and to have love inside your relationships. So there's effusive love here. And when I say effusive, I don't mean flamboyant, but I mean like love overload. Big love, important love, deep love, magnetic love, and connection. Family can shift. You could also experience end of life because the 4th house does have a little bit of an end of life aspect to it. So I do want you to be aware of that. It doesn't mean it will happen. It might not be yours. It might be an animal, a loved one, a mother, a father, a family member. There can also be a change in your home. So your home, you could change homes. You could buy a second home. You could buy a retirement home. You could buy a beach home. This would be the perfect time to find a beach home. Water, a home near some water. The home, though, I think is where the heart is. And getting a heart connection right now is what you're going to find. You don't even have to look for it. It's going to find you. But I really want to say heritage, falling in love with home, with family, with your roots, with your ancestry, going on a quest into your ancestral lands. It's very meaningful. The pilgrimage back home. Maybe you moved out and now you move back home to take care of your own parents. Maybe life comes full circle. This is very, very, very tender. This is emotional connections, tenderness, thoughtfulness. Intuition is prevalent right now. Like you're so intuitive that you're starting to become wise and you cannot unsee that which you know. So there's a little bit of an X-ray vision or a deep knowing with this placement, where in Gemini, you never were able to pick up those things. And now you have this deep, deep intuition. You might start studying tarot, going deeper into healing work, because this is the house of, I nurture you. I give you emotional sustenance to help you. I kind of see the 4th house as the house of the Band-Aid, the 6th house too, but the 4th house has a big Band-Aid. It can be bittersweet sometimes because if you need to get the Band-Aids out, God gave you a reason to get them out, right? Be prepared to be a nurse, to take care of someone or something. Your trees, animals might find you. This is the house also of psychic communication. You could really get into the deep psychological reasons of the why. Why did these things exist? This is the house of therapy, unraveling the ball of yarn to get to the truth of your family secrets, and skeletons in the basement of your family home can be found. I remember when I found my mom's film, like 8mm film, and I was younger and I was like, we've got to watch this. We've got to watch this. And I got to see my mom as a little tiny kid. What the heck? As a little baby, I could never imagine my mom in all her power as a little person. So seeing your family in their truth or in their vulnerability or in their sweetness is a part of this. Okay, let's talk all about it. The progressed sun into Leo or the fifth house. I'm telling you right now, it's no small thing, and your pride is on the line. This is when you're going to create something that you've never even thought of, you've never even imagined. You're going to maybe even create your own life in a whole new expression. You might become more creative. You might create brand new things. You also might see children enter your life right now. I'm also going to tell you that your childlike joy wants so badly to come alive. When the sun progresses from the fourth house into the fifth house, it's like your life gets easier in some way. The fourth house can be kind of dark. The fourth house is the deepest house in the zodiac, you guys. It is like the roots. Imagine you have a tree, and then imagine you have a root, and then imagine that the root goes a mile back or a mile deep. That's the fourth house. The fifth house are the leaves on the tree. They're actually the blossoms and the blooms that blossom on the tree, like the cherry blossom on the cherry tree. It's your time to shine, and it's really exciting. And when this progresses into Leo, it's your time to love large, create large, and you have a big, bold, ferocious life force energy, and you have something inside of you that sort of wants to be born or birthed into its creation. The fifth house is the sun's natural house. I hope you guys are studying astrology with me and that you've done a lot of work on my channel, meaning that you've really watched the videos that talk about the houses, the meaning of the houses, and the deeper videos, because when I say something like that, I don't know, I envision that most of you know what I'm talking about, but this is Leo's natural house, and so you have to realize that this house gives life. So what planets do you have in the fifth house? Is your sun progressing from the fourth into the fifth, or from Cancer into Leo? The very day that it progresses into Leo, it's a whole new birth, because this is the sun. This is ruled by the sun now. And listen to me, listen to me, listen to me. This is so fun. This is so exciting to tell you. If you're progressing from Cancer into Leo, you just moved from the moon, the luminary called the moon, being your sun's ruler. And now the luminary of the sun is your ruler for the next 30 years. And if you are a Cancer and you don't know when you're going to progress into a Leo, well, let's hope you live long enough to do so, right? Because if you're a Cancer, if you're born 0 degrees Cancer, well, it's in 30 years. If you're born at 15 degrees Cancer, it's in 15 years. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, please go watch my part 1 progressions video. Moving from Cancer into Leo is like being born anew. It's literally getting your wings and getting to do life now on your terms, not on your mommy's terms, not on your family's terms, not on your culture's terms, not on your heritage, not based on anything but you and the life force energy that's inside of you. So Leo is very profound. This is a very, 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 very big shift. And you need to watch my entire Mac Daddy Leo playlist. This is fire sign. So you're moving from water to fire. So instead of internally processing like you always have, if you've moved from Cancer to Leo, now you're going to put your work out there into the world, onto the stage for the world to see it, benefit from it, inspire and empower the rest of the world, not just your own self. This is when I say, girl, just do it. Yeah. This is the year when you wear the Halloween costume that you always wanted to as a Cancer, but there was no way you would. This is the year or the time when you wear the kind of makeup and hair and present yourself in a bold way that the Cancer in you always wanted to, but didn't. This is when you create the new you. You might be bolder than you ever will be for the whole rest of your life. Because let me say it to you this way. Are you ready for this? No, you're not. You're so not ready for this. And please forgive me. Next up is Virgo. So get it right. Have fun and play for these 30 years because you got Virgo staring at you down the barrel of a gun, right? And it's going to be hard work and discipline and health and wellness. And so I want you to have your childhood again. Being a progressed Leo, who's a progressed Leo? Jump on the trampoline and eat ice cream for dinner and eat your dessert before you eat your vegetables, right? And just remember what they told you when you were little, if you're my age, that you have to drink your milk. No, you don't. You do not have to drink your milk. I say no. And you don't have to eat everything on your plate. You eat what you want. You're Leo. You're in the regalness of your life. So if you started out as Gemini and then you moved into Cancer, now you're regal Leo, and then you're going to go to Virgo. This is when you wear your crown. You own that crown. You own it, you own it, you own it. You go get it and you put that crown on your head and you boss that crown for 30 years and enjoy every single minute of it. Reclaim your childhood. Have fun, have joy, play, jump on the trampoline. Wee! This is the wee house. This is the house of joy. And I call this house literally the house that makes you go, wee! Ah! Wow! This is the roller coaster. This is like when you are having so much fun, you can barely stand it. I live in this house. I know this house. I love this house. This is the house of joy. So I want you to play games, gamble. No, I'm joking. Just a little, just for play. I want you to put $10 down on the Yahtzee game that you're playing. I want you to just play and have fun just to create the joy. That's progressing into Leo. Learn how to be a kid again. Take risks. Be bold. Find your fabulousness. It's not sprinkle it into the world. It's blast everybody with it. You, my sweet friend, my sweet, fabulous friend, you are on blast when your sun progresses into Leo, or your sun progresses into the 5th house, or your ascendant progresses into Leo. Tell me if this is you. Leave me a comment and tell me if you can feel it. I've got my secrets for you. 6th house progressed suns, or progressed Virgos, or progressed Virgo ascendants. Now I've got 2 out of 3 of these placements, and let me tell you, it is so friggin' rewarding. Yeah. I was joking about it in the Leo segment of what I was just saying, and I hope you Virgos kind of heard it. But I was just trying to motivate the Leos to do their childlike joy because they are coming from Cancer and they probably got squashed and squished. But I'm like, you got Virgo next. But let me tell you what's so exciting about Virgo. When you do Virgo energy, right? I got to squeeze in. I got to sneak in here. I got to get close to you, snuggle into you. What happens is, as your work becomes joyful, your work becomes rewarding. I now cannot tell the difference sometimes, not all the times, not 100%, but a lot of the times, like 90% of the times. I can't tell the difference between my joy and my work. What? Yeah, I'm doing this. This is part of my job now. You guys are officially part of my job, but you're my joy. You're my joy job. So this is the house of the joy job, finding the joy in the job, not the calling, the job, the work, the daily. You're my daily. You're my weekly. Right? And collectively, it could be my calling. Collectively, all these YouTube videos could be my legacy. It could be my greatest gift. But what I want to say is that there's a mind-body connection. And with that, there comes sort of like a spiritual opening. So this house is very deep. And if you are not a Virgo, if you have not watched my Virgo playlist, I don't do Virgos wrong. I don't do Virgos bad. I really do Virgos right. I put a lot of conscientious thoughtfulness into my Virgo videos. Why? Because I know they are. I talk to the audience. I talk on my Gemini playlist like they're smart. I talk to my Leos like they're fun. I talk to my Virgos like they're conscientious, because they are. They're filled with thought. They're filled with character. They're filled with integrity. They're filled with precision and perfection. I don't want to do them bad. I don't want to do them dirty. I don't want to do them wrong. I care about Virgos. There's a high level of conscientiousness. So if you have your progressed sun in the 6th house, you're highly, highly conscientious. I'm more conscientious about my life and the world and politics and the news and crime and petty crime and little crime, big crime, character that I work with. Like, I don't want to work with a person who doesn't have true character, right? Authenticity, truth, absolutely abhor cheaters, liars, and people who steal and manipulate. I can't stand it. I think this is what happened to me by progression, because I wasn't that concerned with all this when I was younger. I was like, well, that's them, not me. That's their lesson, not mine. But now I'm highly conscientious. I also want to be impeccable in my own world, my own word, and in my own commitments. And I'm not, but I want to be, because I'm human. I'm flawed too, just like everybody else. However, Virgo gets exciting because you're going to have an emphasis on health and wellness, but your daily life is going to have a deep meaning and value in it if you're doing it right. You're going to get opportunities to do it right also. You're going to get opportunities to quit the boring job and do the more interesting job where you're of value. You're going to get the opportunities to really fill your daily life up with things that are authentic and true to you. What do you value? How are you going to become valuable to your daily world? I don't know about you, but I kind of like my cats and my dog and my daughter and my mom and my dad and my nieces and nephews and my siblings and my husband needing me, wanting me, desiring me, saying, well, are you going to invite Aunt Mare? Are you going to invite Mare? It's fun when she comes along. I want to be thought of as valuable, important. That's this house. You know what is so cool about the 6th house or about progressing into Virgo? Now, it doesn't happen on day 1 or year 1. Remember, it's a 30-year transit, so it takes a minute. But you want to know what's so exciting? It's so rich. It's so rich. I want you to think of the power of what I'm about to tell you. You get to step into the cultivation of your skill set. Mastering it, becoming a mentor, a guide, a wise one, a teacher, a cultivator of others, and you get to pay it forward or pass it along to proteges and apprentices. If you do this right, if you do this right, if you do this well. Now hold on, it's a 30-year progression. It might have a little seedling year 1 of your progression, but then it grows and grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. And by the 30th year, it's like, wow, you really are in the mastery of your skill set. And you really are in a place where you can share your usefulness, your trade, and your craft with others. It's beautiful. This is the house of great reward for hard work. So I don't know about you, but I have worked my tail off. Other than my mom, I think I'm the hardest working person I know. I don't say that with arrogance. I don't even want it to be true. I wish it wasn't. I wish to God it wasn't. I was in a progressed Capricorn for 30 years, and now I'm progressed into the 6th house. It's a lot. So what I'm saying is, though, with this Virgo sun progression or ascendant Virgo progression, which I also have, or the 6th house, the sun progressing into the 6th house, what happens is great reward for very hard work. The 6th house does not pay you for free. The 5th house, you get freebies. Be careful, though. Be careful, because not everything for free is worth it. My dad always taught me the motto, nothing, Mary, nothing is for free. And God, have I learned that the hard way. Not one thing is for free. 5th house will give you free things. They'll just collect the bill later. You just don't know what the bill will be, but you'll pay for it. You'll take the favor. You'll pay for it later. The 6th house, nothing's for free. Cost is right up front. And your way and their way. First of all, you're wise enough now to not take the favor because the favor is going to cost you something, so you don't take it. Second of all, you're smart enough, if you do know that you're taking a favor, you're going to ask right up front, what's this going to cost me? Oh, nothing, just the kindness of my heart. Yeah, right. This house has a lot of wisdom, Nothing, my sweet friends, are for free. Okay, let's talk about when the sun progresses into Libra or the 7th house. Now, this is really, really huge. And I want to tell you that I'm going to do a video for you on compatibility using progressions. And so if you do have this placement, it's really, really important. So when the sun progresses into the 7th house, or even Venus into the 7th house, or other planets into the 7th house, we need to talk about it. Or when you have the sun progressing into Libra, or you have your ascendant progressing into Libra, what happens is you create relationships. You have a chance to marry somebody, meet the love of your life, but you also have business relationships that can really change your life. This happened to me when I had planets really progressing through the 7th house. However, I am talking specifically in this video about the sun. This is a time when relationships come into high focus. And it's not just romantic relationships, it's business relationships too. But there is an emphasis on now more than ever really relying on the opinions of other people of you. You might even be sensitive to, like, I didn't even care what people thought of me, and now I do. Maybe social media attacked you or found you, or maybe you married into a family where the opinion is chronic or constant, where in your family they were hands off. So your environment could change where now you might be in the spotlight more, or public opinion matters more, right? Maybe you became president of a country and now people have to vote if they want you to be in office or not. That's very 7th house. That's very progressed Libra. That's very much like my life matters around what you say about my life. I realized that I'm not very built for that kind of life. That's very painful for me to think about living like that. It's hard if you don't have your own conviction inside of you already developed around who you are, what you value. I think of Taylor Swift and how she might by now even have a progressed seventh house sun, where what people think of her or say about her matters. Maybe, hopefully, though, she already has her own identity anchored in strongly enough that doesn't destroy her, but she takes the good and leaves the bad behind. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, take the good votes and leave the bad votes behind. Another really great thing that I want to tell you about is this is when you can really create mutually dynamic relationships where you can sort of step into mutual partnership that benefits the both of you, where it's mutually magnetic, mutually dynamic, mutually beneficial. Like, I give to you and you give to me, and I'm not that great without you, and you're my better half and I'm your better half. I love the thought of this progressed Libra. You're learning relationship skills and tools. Remember, it's not your natal chart. I also want to tell you, you might become more beautiful rather than less beautiful as you age with this placement. Because remember what I told you, your ruler has changed now. So if your ascendant has changed to Libra, Venus is ruling your whole chart. You might be 80 years old when this happens and you're the most beautiful you've ever been. Who is the older lady? She's a fashion icon. She's 100 years old. She wears the big glasses that are this big, right? Like, she really made a name for herself. She helped women embrace their beauty. My mom is 80. She's so beautiful. She said just the other day when we went to lunch, she said, I've learned that true peace is accepting yourself right where you're at. Accept your beauty. And she's a beautiful 80-year-old, but she accepts her 80-year-old version of beauty. She's not trying to be 30. So this is a beauty aspect. So maybe you're more beautiful today. Beauty is heightened, a beautiful partner, peace, love, harmony. This, my friends, the seventh house, is Aphrodite's house. Aphrodite is alluring. She's the muse. Even if you're a man here, you are a muse in some way. I wonder if you've lost like 70 pounds, gotten healthy, gotten more attractive, started working out as an older person, or now, where before you didn't care much about it. Now you do. I don't think that would be true because you're coming from Virgo, but I'm just saying, like, there is a beautification with this. There's a harmony. There's a partnership emphasis. There's also negotiations, contracts, law and order, and justice. Let's say there was some wrongdoing when you were in your progressed Virgo. I don't know. Let's say you were one of the victims in that airplane turbulence on Singapore Airlines or whatever it was. And let's say that happened when you had your progressed Virgo, and now the settlement comes, or the car accident settlement, or the fire to your home settlement comes. That can happen inside the seventh house progressed sun because it handles legal issues. When you progress from Libra into Scorpio, let me tell you, this is so deep. This is sort of feeling, forgive me for these metaphors, but this is feeling like you jump out of an airplane, right? And there's this euphoria, and then there's this parachute, and let's say you have kind of a hard landing. Boom. That's how this feels, because it's almost like you get sucked into a black hole, and this black hole has depth to it. So Libra is very focused on your popularity, your networking, your relationships, lots of friendships. And now Scorpio doesn't value those. Moving into progressed sun sign Scorpio rising, or the eighth house, it doesn't have the same value around those friendships, around those connections, around those partnerships. The Scorpio progression really just needs one solid partner. It just needs, intimacy, an intimate partner. It doesn't need all the bing, bang, boom that the seventh house can bring. The seventh house can really bring popularity. It can bring a concert stage to the party. Let's just say this: Libra will celebrate its birthday party with fanfare. Scorpio just wants one good friend in their pajamas and a good bottle of red wine, or your favorite non-alcoholic drink, some treats and pleasure. That's it. Good bar of chocolate. They just don't need a lot. They need depth. So I'm going to tell you something kind of important about this one. This is deep, and your life is going to change dramatically. Now, here's a little pro tip. Here's a little extra that I want you to get, even if you're like a progressed Taurus. I hope for some reason you're watching when I'm talking about Scorpio. There's deep transformation in this, and this is very difficult for the Libra progressed sun to move into Scorpio. And oftentimes they feel like, what's wrong with my life? Why is everybody dying? Everybody divorcing? Everybody leaving me? My best friend betrayed me. Friendships are dying off. My life is changing. Why am I getting evicted? Why am I living in a mansion when I really only need an apartment? Dramatic change, giant change. And some signs are harder to go into and out of than others. And this is a hard one because what you've been doing for the last 30 years in Libra or in the 7th house or Libra rising is honestly, honest to God, not supported by Scorpio or the 8th house or Scorpio rising. Why? Venus rules Libra. And you guys tell me what rules Scorpio. What rules Scorpio? Mars and Pluto. That's the opposite of Libra. That which you loved in your Libra progression, you will not even like in your Scorpio progression, except for the most profoundly valuable parts of your life. The pillars of steel or the pillars of marble will stay with you. Everything else will fly away. And it's crazy. And I'm going to tell you something. I get nervous about my truth-telling style sometimes because it can get me into trouble. It can be too dark, too deep, too real, the wrong thing. This one feels lonely because you go from being the most popular person in the world to realizing all your friends were fake because you want something different. Be really honest with you. Get your Band-Aids ready for this one. You'll get used to it. You will find value in it. It takes time because your entire value system is changing. Your whole expression is moving from extroversion and social perfection, if you will, the perfect party, ironing the napkins. I know actually nobody is ironing napkins, right? Will you tell me? Because I started to iron the napkins for Christmas and my husband threw cold water on me. He was like, stop that crazy. Stop that crazy. Nobody irons napkins and you're not ironing napkins. And this is like something nobody's doing and my kids don't expect this. And no. And that is not how you are spending Christmas Eve, ironing napkins. No. So can you guys tell me, tangent, are people ironing napkins? Please make me feel better about myself that there are maybe 2 people out there in the world that are actually ironing cloth napkins for the Christmas. I went out and bought really fancy, super fancy paper napkins, the kind that you don't even dare wipe your lip gloss on because they have like little gold filigree in them. Anyways, oh my God, my cheeks hurt. Scorpio is like, we're not even inviting people over, are we? Like there are no napkins to iron. And Libra is like, yeah, we've got to, have you seen the napkins? The napkins come out of the dryer and they look like crumpled. They look like this. Tell me if you're ironing napkins. And if you leave me a comment about ironing napkins, I'm going to know that you watched this video for 1 hour and 90 minutes. Anyways, it's about transformation and it's about depth and introversion. It's about soul seeking. It's a healing time. It's kind of a dark time. It is a time of loss. You could get an inheritance. You could receive investment in your own company. It is a time of deep work, getting the answers to the difficult questions, understanding death after life, understanding where does the soul live, going on the journey of what is reincarnation and is it true? Is the Bible true? What are the teachings of life and death? Heaven and hell. And this is the house of Hades. This is the house of hell. That's why I mentioned the Bible. Understanding when your sun progresses into the 8th house, you want to understand the definition of hell. Are you living in hell? You just came from Libra, so maybe it was a different kind of hell, right? But you're going to redefine it because you're going to no longer want to live in Hades. And so there's a lot of transformation. This is when the phoenix rises from the ash. This is when you get, are you ready? It's not the 1st house kind of Mars. It's the 8th house kind of Mars. Mars rules both the 1st and the 8th. So now Mars and Pluto are your rulers. So it's when you get psychologically strong, when you can handle almost anything psychologically, like I'm unfazed. It's when you can drive down the freeway in the busiest city in your state, country, and nobody irritates you. You're unfazed, psychologically strong. You're not offended that the person cut you off. You're not offended that the person almost sideswiped you. You didn't feel like you had to flip the person off or go, bring out your inner Italian. You are unfazed. That's when you master the 8th house. That's when your sister can't push her buttons, your uncle can't push her buttons, your mom can't push her buttons because you got no buttons for them. I love the Pussycat Dolls song. Loosen up my buttons. Yeah, you have no buttons to push. So it's like psychologically, I've got you mastered. You don't even bug me any longer because I'm not even in your psychological warfare. Now, it's going to take you a minute to master this. This video, I hope you are watching every sign because there's golden nuggets and maybe you have your moon in Scorpio and this applies. Maybe your Mercury's in Scorpio. But this is when you loosen up your buttons. Yeah. Can somebody please play that song for me? I love the Pussycat Dolls. Okay, so deep transformation. I could talk about this one forever. forever. I might have to do progressions masterclass. You guys like that idea? Let me know. That might be my next masterclass. It's going to be in August. Oh, also, I should tell you guys, if you want to know where your progressions are right now, and you can look in the ephemeris for sure, but if you want to get them down to the exact degree, which, by the way, degrees matter, the exact degree for your moon, for your Mercury, those move really, really fast. You can get my Advanced Astro Gold Package for sure. That's like my second most popular chart and report. So you get your progressed chart and you read it just like your natal chart. Then you get your progressed report. And then you also get a bonus report that shows you all your houses. I definitely recommend you get that because it's going to go into where you're at right now. The ephemeris is going to show you where you have been, what your life looked like. And if you're a younger person, this shows your future. So you can look at your past and your future. And that's awesome. But your progressed report shows you what's happening right now. Let's talk about Sagittarius. When you progress from Scorpio into Sagittarius or from the 8th house into the 9th or Sagittarius rising, this feels like the bull rider, in the cage with all the power, because the 8th house has a ton of pent up power, personal power, so much power that it literally transforms your whole entire soul. And your soul is definitely not going to be the same after it moves through the whole 8th house. And if you live to see it, now you are the bull pent up and it literally opens, the bell goes off and it opens and that bull is free. Not really, but you get the idea. It has this freedom from being in the pen. This is explosive. This is big. And you might feel this faster than when you move from Libra into Scorpio. You might feel this freedom immediately. But this is a time when your whole life lightens up. I think the 9th house is the second house of joy. The 5th. Hope you guys watched the 5th. The 5th is the first. The 9th is the second. The 3rd is the 3rd. The 3rd house is the 3rd. This is a time when your faith will be tested and when you will get, or you will seek to get. You'll either seek or you'll get. So you'll either seek and receive or just seek. The harder answers to the harder questions in life. The harder answers to the bigger questions in life. Who are you, God? What is the meaning of my life? What is the truth about this culture? Why are we barbaric? Why did we burn people at the stake? Why are humans cruel? The question, the man or the bear on TikTok and Instagram, that's the 9th house, the man or the bear. Philosophical questions that confront you with ferocity around your truth. So the man or the bear, tell me in the comments below. And if you tell me, I know that you watched through the 9th house. This is your philosophy culminating into a deeper truth in your life. And this is a time when you'll need your faith. This is a time when you will want to fight the injustices in the world. And so it's bittersweet, right? It's wonderful when we come to conclusions about life and to better the world in some way. It's so good that we're not burning witches at the stake. And it was so awful that we did that. But the 9th house is the house that taught us to stop doing that as a culture. The 9th house is a system of laws and governance that was put into place that made us see the barbaric nature of that and quit that. So it's painful, but it's also brilliant and good. This is on the axis of higher education. So you might go back to school and want to learn something really important. This is on the axis of philosophies, all theosophies and ologies, I should say. So this is also a time when your higher mind is activated, when your joy is activated. I want to tell you, this is when you can become a great inspiration, a light force, because it's fire, a light force for others. This is when you can become a world traveler. This is when you can become known around the world. This is when you can become a true global citizen. This is when you can become enlightening in some way or help others on their journey to enlightenment, to their own authentic truth. And this is also a time in your life, these 30 years, where you might become a professor of sorts, or maybe just read all the books that are in your bookshelf. This is a very scholarly time, and this is a time of higher intelligence. This is the time when you become the living National Geographic magazine or channel where you want to go on trek to find your truth, your holy grail. This is when you put a belief system into you. Now, negatively, this is when you could join a cult. right? So be careful. What do you believe in? Because your belief system will be tested. This is a happiness house, and you're moving back into sort of connecting with lots of people. They might not necessarily be best friends or friends like the seventh house because you've gone through an eighth house transformation, or Libra, Scorpio, now Sag. Now your friendships have changed forever. And now you're seeking friends that have like-minded truths. And you're probably wanting to pursue truths with like-minded souls. I really love this house. I love this house a lot because you can bounce back from problems way faster than the eighth house or Scorpio. Sages get over their shit fast. Scorpios hold on. They literally hold on to the bones after they ate the meat. And they're like, these are my bones. I ate the meat. These are my bones. And Sagittarius is like, these bones are useless. I already ate all the meat. Pfft. Another round, right? Next round. There's a freedom. You will feel free. I promise you. I've gone through this one with many of my planets. You will feel free. Let freedom ring. And you will feel expansive. You will feel huge. You will feel big. You will feel important. So there's two kings in the zodiac. One is Leo, the other is Sag. Why? Why? Well, one is the life creator, Leo, the god Apollo, the sun god who created life. And the other is Zeus, the god of all gods, father of all gods, the god of the universe. Those two signs are the ones that hold royalty in the chart. You've just dug yourself out of sort of that Scorpio well of internalization, and now you're back out there feeling like, I want to do something. I want to give my understandings away to the globe, to the universe. I want to understand universal truths. I don't want to just understand truths that apply to me. I don't want to just understand what is Sagittarius. I want to understand what is everything. Did you get that? I want to understand what is everything. How are you different from me? How am I different from you and you and you and you and you? Are you guys liking this content? Oh my God, I love doing it for you. And if you haven't gotten your gorgeous natal chart, oh my God, really? Go get your gorgeous natal chart. It's so phenomenal. When I was in my workshop in Seattle and somebody handed me a chart to read that wasn't my gorgeous natal chart, I was just like, this is what you're working off of? Oh my God, it was free on astro.com, Astro Danes. Please don't use that. You can't even read it. I've been doing astrology now for 28 years. I can't even read that darn thing. Go get my gorgeous natal chart. It's easy to read. Every single line in the entire zodiac, all 360 degrees. You can see there's an aspect finder, all that. By the way, if you want an aspect finder, which we're going to talk about, especially at my Playful Progressions party for members, we're going to talk about aspects. And if you need an aspect finder, I still have like 20 of them in my shop, but they're really handy, really amazing tool for you to use. Anyways, you need your gorgeous natal chart. Get your starter package if you are a novice or a beginner, and for some reason you're on this advanced video just listening. You got to go watch my beginning videos and get the starter package for sure. You could also get your soul's design report, which is fantastic. But if you're an advanced listener and learner and you really want to know your progressions, that's the Advanced Astro Gold Package. And if you have questions about which report, which chart should I get, I don't know, just write to my team. They're so happy to help you. Okay, the 10th house, you have personal courage with personal ambition, and they get melded together to find and help create your greatness. If your progressed sun is moving into the 10th house or Capricorn, or your rising sign is progressed into Capricorn, this is a time in your life when you can really achieve your greatness, your legacy. This is when you have opportunities to go into your personal hall of fame, whatever that is. Master your craft and share it with the world and make money from it. This is definitely a money magnet, fame magnet, status magnet, house or position. You will, trust me, I learned this one. You will work yourself to death. If you don't die from working hard, you made it. I made it. I had 30 years of this. When your sun progresses into Capricorn, you will knowingly or unknowingly work your ass off. And you'll do it out of either needing money, wanting status, wanting to grow something of value, wanting the betterment of your life or other people. For me, I lived sadly in a money conscious state of mind where I never had enough, ever. It didn't matter. I was never, ever able to rest, because I had the next payment, the next bill. But I grew something amazing out of that. I grew a dedication. I grew a tenacity. I grew a fortitude. I also grew a desperation. And I also grew a sense of internal panic that I have a hard time getting rid of, like worry. There's not going to be enough. Okay, I can breathe now. I'm not just rolling in money. I don't mean that, but I can breathe. I wasn't able to breathe for about 30 years when my sun progressed through Capricorn because I was in a state of needing the next paycheck and the next and the next. I know a lot of my members know my private stories because I tell them on my members only. And I really love you and I love sharing my life with you. But when I first started out as an astrologer, I lived in a closet on a mattress, a single mattress with my clothes hung over me. So I had a pillow, I had sheets, I had a dog, but I lived in my closet and that was my bedroom. I was really poor. I go deeper into that story. But I lived in that state of mind for a very, very long time. My sun progressed into Capricorn when I was 15 years old. I'll just tell this quick little story real quick. When I was 14 years old, I wanted to work so badly so I didn't have to ask my parents for money. They didn't have a lot of money. They were school teachers. And so I got a job at the Gap. And sadly, I lived in Phoenix, Arizona, where it was 120 degrees. And you had to look nice working at the Gap. I was 14 and I lied. I got a job at the Gap at Paradise Valley Mall, but I lived far from that. I lived about 4 miles away and I had no transportation. So I rode my bike up giant hills on busy, busy roads. If anybody's from Phoenix, I lived at 7th Street and Greenway and I rode my bicycle at 14 years old to Paradise Valley Mall. Great thing about that job is I got to meet Glenn Campbell and I got to fit Glenn Campbell into a pair of jeans. It's so fun. However, a boy that liked me in high school who I didn't like back got his revenge for me not liking him, and he ratted me out to my boss and told on me and said I was too young to be legally working there, and I got fired after about 4 months. So mean, right? So mean. Because, by the way, I was about 7 years older than I really was. I was like a 30-year-old woman at 14. I'm not joking. It was my mom and dad. They developed a depth inside of me. Anyways, that is progressed Capricorn sun. So I got another job closer to home. I mean, that bike ride was killing me anyways. It was up a hill in 120 degree. Then I kind of had to take a bird bath shower there because I was hot and sweaty and change my clothes in the back room and put my bike in the storage room in the back at the Gap. Anyways, that is how doggone determined the Capricorn sun is. And by the way, I never had that desire before my sun really progressed into Capricorn. I mean, you can feel the progression coming. So that was at 14, but my sun progressed at 15. So when it was in that 29th degree of Sagittarius, I just wanted more from life. So your progression, here's the golden nugget for this one. Every sign gets a golden nugget. I don't know why. It's because I'm riffing today. My soul was in crisis. It wanted more and it wanted freedom. And I was trapped. Mom, can I have $2 to have a piece of pizza and play Miss Pac-Man at Barrow's Pizza? No, you can't. I'll just get my own job, right? And babysitting was too small. Capricorn's ambitious and it's grown up. It's really grown up. It's mature and it's wise and it's serious and it's tenacious and it wants its own money. It wants its own power. It will not be put in your box. Are there any other progressed Capricorns that wants to level up? This is when you will level up your life. That was my first real job. I mean, I did other jobs. I worked very early in age, but that was my first real job where I had to go interview for it. Capricorn or 10th house is when ambition finds you, when responsibility finds you. Please don't let it eat you alive. That whole 30 years, it almost ate me alive. I mean, it was huge. A lot of responsibility. You have to grow up fast. You lose your sense of joy. You lose your sense of play. And you trade it out for responsibility, rules, regulations, and seriousness. It's real effing serious. You usually can get into management. You'll start managing other people. You'll start managing yourself. You'll start managing your world. You will be a great manager. You will also unknowingly or knowingly, are you ready? No, you're not. I'll tell you anyway. You're starting to build your legacy around your character. Who are you being? It's the 10th house. Everybody's looking at you in the 10th house. Who do you want to be? Who are you truthfully going to be? You going to sell out or are you going to sell the truth? The truth of who you really are, not the 9th house truth. Those are different kinds of truths. That's faith and religion and indoctrination and the truth of who you are. So if you're a progressed 10th house or progressed Capricorn, it's really important to do work that reflects your truth. I'll say it again. to do work that reflects your truth. Okay, the 11th house has some really interesting things attached to it. First of all, I want you to know that this is on the axis of Leo and Aquarius. So the truths are really interesting on this axis. The themes that are going to show up for you are around, do I want to be special, Leo, or do I want to be equal, Aquarius? So being equal could cost you being special, and being special can cost you from being equal. And you're going to have conflict on this subject. Trust me. Trust me. Now, another thing that's going to happen is you're going to move from individuals to groups. I don't know what it's going to look like exactly, but now your world is going to be about groups and organizations. So think of 3 or more. That's your new life. So if you have a progressed sun into Aquarius or progressed into the 11th, or the rising sign has progressed into Aquarius, now it's about 3 or more. And you're going to find, it's crazy. It's crazy for a Capricorn to even think like this. You're going to now find the greatest rewards come in groups, come in tribes, come in social arenas. And I know that sounds funny or crazy, or how, for a Scorpio listening to this, it's like, how can this even be? I don't even like groups. Can't freaking stand groups. Hate those people. Hate all those people. You watch, you find a soul tribe. So let me give you an example. Okay? Because this is happening to me right now. I'm a progressed Aquarian, and I'll just tell you, like, it's been, wow, just such a wow factor. I should do a whole video on just the progressed signs, because I could talk to you about each progression for hours. So I think I have to do a progressed masterclass. And it's really crazy because in this video, this is like the 3rd time that I'm like holding tears behind my eye sockets. I know you can't see them, thank God, but I'm really moved. I'm moved by these thoughts. There is such an enormous freedom. If you are a Scorpio or a Sag or a Capricorn and you've progressed into Aquarius, it's a whole shift that you couldn't have even imagined. Progressing into Aquarius, like, nobody's prepared for it. Nobody's ready unless you have a lot of Aquarius planets. If you have an Aquarius moon or Aquarius Venus or Aquarius Mercury, okay, maybe you're prepared. But if you don't have a lot of Aquarius in your chart or 11th house, oh my God, you are not prepared for the level of non-judgmental freedom that comes with this placement. Like, all of a sudden, all your judgments as a Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Capricorn, which, by the way, if you added up all the judgments of those signs, it's a ton. I think those are the judgment signs. Well, we can give it to Taurus and Aries too, and Cancer. Okay, all of them. Okay. You guys win. Virgo, judgment. Yeah, God. Okay, everybody. But you move from those places into the progressed sun sign of Aquarius, and you are not ready for the freedom of, like, let people be. Let the chips fall where they may. Those are not my problems to solve. Like, what the hell? Hello? Did somebody give me a lobotomy on July 5th, 2015? What the hell happened to me? Did the aliens actually come and steal me and take me away, and they put a new Meredith inside of me? It's like, let the chips fall where they may, and I'm not even smoking pot. Yeah, I'm just saying, it's like, it's not like I'm high. It's for real. It's authentically a shift. My face hurts now. There's an egalitarian quality to life. There is a beautiful thing that shifts with this placement. So the 11th house, you were living in the 10th, and now you're in the 11th, Aquarius rising. Wow. It's beautiful because you can see people in their difference from you, right? Like, you're not wearing this outfit. You don't do your hair the way I do my hair. You don't look like I do. You don't act the way I do. Your mannerisms aren't the same. And I love you. And I love you. And I really love you. And when you come to one of my workshops, you see the differences in all walks of life. You see the Aquarian quality. There's no way to be. There's no way to look. And I feel accepted in my image and look and personality by those people who are different from me as well. So it's 2 ways. You start receiving people that are so different than you that appreciate you in an unconditional way. I want to tell you, if you don't know the power of liberation, this placement is liberation. It is liberation from the way you thought it should be, the way you were trained it should be, the way you've been frickin' doing it for 30 years in Capricorn, the jails that you've lived in. You're free. It's like you got the key, you got the wings, and you're flying. I want to also tell you that you're going to be asked to reinvent your life right now. You're not going to want to, because you have a system and a structure from Capricorn that has worked. It's worked. Let's say you're 2 years old and this happens. Okay, well then this is all you know. But if you progress into Aquarius a little later in life, when you do know the difference after 14 years old, it's going to be baffling. This is going to be like a shocking, just shocking, because it's not Capricorn's way. Capricorn's is rules, regulations, and expectations, and you better meet them. And if you don't, there's a lot of stress to endure. And do you know how much this tower will crumble? This tower will crumble if you don't do your part. You are in the Jenga puzzle, and if you pull that cog out and this tower falls, it's your fault. It's your responsibility. That's Capricorn. Aquarius, it's like, woo, the Jenga puzzle fell. Wow, you lost it all. Yay, let's do it again. Like, you're celebrating the fall of the Jenga puzzle. I know you probably feel bad, but you don't sweat it. Let the chips fall where they may. And so you're going to start to attract other Aquarian friends when you are a progressed sun sign Aquarian, 11th house or ascendant. And you are going to see how it's done, and you're going to have to learn from your Aquarius people. Oh, I'm not supposed to give a shit about this? Oh, I just ruined the whole Jenga puzzle, or napkins to iron. What the hell? By the way, if y'all don't know, my partner's an Aquarian. His name's Joe. He's wonderful. He's like, hell to the no. There's no napkins to iron. Yeah. And if you want to be in on that joke, you got to go watch how many signs ago? I don't know. Was that Virgo? Hell to the no. Hell to the no. There's no napkins to iron in the Aquarian world, right? How many Aquariuses? This is a real question. Just because I want you to prove it to other people. How many Aquarians or progressed Aquarians are there that iron napkins? Is there one? Is there one on the planet? I just want to know, is there one Aquarian that irons cloth napkins for the Christmas party or the whatever party? I don't know. But this is a time when you're going to invent yourself and you're going to reinvent your life. You're going to find a sense of humor. You're going to laugh at the heavier things in life. And you, my friend, are all of a sudden going to have the capacity to make things lighter because there's a detachment in you now. And I always thought I wanted attachment, right? I have a lot of fourth house planets. I always thought, ooh, I don't want to be detached. I don't want to have the rope, tethered out there and be detached. And then I found that there are great joys in detachment and in the art of detachment. I found that there is great freedom. You know what there is? There's freedom for me to be me. And when you are so attached to something, you can't, the thing that you love is right here. You can't detach enough even to know who you are inside this connection, because you are one, you are merged together. And in the detachment, you can see this is me and this is you. There's a new detachment. So what are you going to have to detach from? That could be sad. That was for me. That was hard on me. I had to learn detachment. I didn't want to. I had been attached my whole life. I didn't want to detach from anything that I loved. So there is a detachment with this piece. There's also an aloneness with this piece. Like, you really do feel at times you are alone. You are very alone. You're isolated. You're kind of the weird one. I'm kind of the weird one. I'm the one that's a little out there in my family. No one else is doing astrology in my family. No one. We got real estate. We got all normal jobs. We got a baseball coach. We got property management, some smart jobs, business managers, school superintendent, teachers. We got the Navy. Every single man in my life, with the exception of my current husband, has been in the military. Every single man. Maybe even most of my boyfriends. Isn't that weird? And my first husband. All military. Aunt Mare or my sister Mare is in astrology. That's really out there. I'm really, really, really out there. Yeah, I know. Crazy. When you progress into Aquarius, you don't care. There's freedom to be you. You don't care. And you know what else? Neither do they. They don't either. But it takes the Aquarius aspect to get there. Be you. Be you and enjoy the freedom. And you got it for 30 years with this progression. When you move from Aquarius into Pisces, and this hasn't happened for me yet, this is going to be close to my end of life. You move into a cocoon and you move into a spiritual connection. You move into a deep knowing. You may be in a place where you don't even talk through the spoken word, meaning you communicate through deeper language, a feeling language, a knowing language, an intuitive language, a psychic language. You have out-of-body experiences. You have a spiritual connection. You have a divine connection. You are one with God, or you seek to be one with God. You have deep enmeshment with people that you love. So you've just spent, the 30 years detached. Now you're reconnecting with different generation. So for example, maybe it's not your mother, but maybe it's your sibling or your sibling's child or your grandchild. Do you see what I'm saying? Like next generations, maybe you're connecting with because you were in a detachment mode for 30 years. So I'm not saying that you detached completely from family or friendships, but maybe you didn't need those friendships like you crave them and want them with the deep intimacy connections when you move into Pisces, because Pisces is fused together. They are one union. There's also a desire and an understanding to become one with the cosmic order of life. Unconditional love here. And I think Aquarius helps Pisces this way in removing the judgment. And now you're in a true love with nature, with life, the molecules that make up life, the divine aspect of life. There's also a tendency to escape. Maybe life is too brutal. Maybe this is when you want to sleep more, check out more, recharge your batteries more, go into deep tantra, meditation. Maybe you develop a psychic awareness. And maybe you also really get deeply, profoundly into the healing arts and the intimacy around the healing arts. So you're not necessarily built for the masses. You're not built for necessarily, the massive crowd necessarily. When you have your sun progress into Pisces or the 12th house or cross or become the ascendant, you want to do deep, big work, work that is big but deep. And there's a depth to this house. I also want to tell you that this is a time when you could get in touch with loss, losing yourself to escape the hard parts, having to rely or develop a sense of spiritual faith, trying to understand your spiritual connection, and trying to deal with death and loss or illness. This is a time when you could face severe illness for yourself or for loved ones, help another person die. This is very 12th house. Work in hospice, become a death doula, help another person leave the earth plane or multiple people. You could also understand God and understand the truth of life, understand the magic in life, understand the magic formulas to a happy life. This is when you shed the material and you step into the mystical. This is also like a smallness and a largeness. So I see this house in a dilemma around space. Like I'm so tiny, I'm one grain of sand in the cosmic order of all of the entire cosmic galaxy. So I understand my tininess, but I also understand the profundity of the concept of the infinite. And so really understanding the infinite world and your small but powerful cosmic presence in this world. People who don't have a lot of 12th house or Pisces, they don't even understand my English language when I start to talk about it. To be honest, it's hard to grasp. But this is when you step into infinite energy to all things and you shed the material. The mystic is the one that needs no material items or possessions. And so you'll start to see that this is when you downsize, when you don't want the big house, when you just need that one comfortable blanket, if that. Anyways, this is my video. I hope you loved it. I hope you got a lot out of it. It was very long, very profound, very big, very juicy, and a lot of golden nuggets sprinkled throughout. I want to tell you a couple of things. I am having my next workshop in Barcelona. It is going to be phenomenal. 35 people can come. I've already sold 10%. Actually, my husband told me it was 15%. When this video comes out, I have no idea how many tickets will be left. If you want to come, if you want to have a life-changing, transformative experience, when I say that, I don't say that lightly. It's true. I see the people walk in and I see them leave different. It's profound and it's powerful. And our work together will be intimate, delightful, fun, transformative, deep, riveting, meaningful, and authentic. Come to Barcelona. If you live near to Barcelona, great. But we're going to be in the Gothic quarter. I'm going to put it up on my website, grab a ticket and get your plane ticket. We're going to have all kinds of activities. We're going to have a meet and greet, hopefully on a rooftop somewhere in sunny Barcelona, October 10th through the 13th. We're also going to go on a sunset cruise and we're going to go to a flamenco show. So it's not a conference. It's a workshop/retreat because we have a blast together at night. We party, we play, and we let our fifth house shine. And then we do really deep, serious work that will change our lives and change the world. So I would say it's like 8th house, 10th house during the day, maybe 6th house. And then it's all 5th house, right? So it's going to be super fun. I also recommend if you really want to look at your progressions, book a reading with me. I'm booked months in advance, but you can also book with my team, Stacy or Connie Joe. Just go to soulnavigation.com, click on book a reading, and you can find my readers there and their prices and their availability. And you can also get on my calendar too. Anyways, get your ephemeris, keep studying your progressions. It's absolutely fascinating. And I'm going to do compatibility using progressions for my members only. So please become a super supporter or a superstar super supporter and come to my July 21st Playful Progressions party. I cannot wait. It's only $4.99 for super supporters, and it's free if you're a superstar super supporter. I cannot wait to look at your progressions, talk to you about progressions, bring your progression questions. We're going to have a blast, and it's a party. So bring your fun, bring your joy, and I'll see you then. I cannot wait to meet you, and I look forward to being on this astrological journey with you wherever you're at in the world, from my home here in Seattle, Washington, USA, to wherever you're at. I wish you the very, very best. Take good care.